I'm thinking to myself, should I go back? It's getting dark. I started to have those doubts again. And I was just feeling like, why did I do this? Who am I to think I could? The most important thing we can teach our children is how to recognize and follow the Spirit. And it hit me really hard. And I thought, wow, it doesn't matter how much knowledge we have. Without any knowledge, the Spirit can guide us if we know how to recognize and follow the Spirit. So that was weighing heavily on me when it came time to do New Year's resolutions. And my New Year's resolutions for 2005 included finding some way that I could, as a parent, correct that mistake I'd made in my life of not teaching that most important lesson. It didn't even dawn on me when my father came to me and said, I would like to take what, children, we can still gather together, which of my sons we can get together and go on a camp out, wilderness adventure in the high Uintas. And so we planned to do this. My sons were off somewhere else and I needed to go pick them up. And there was traffic. And the plan was that I would meet I'd pick up the boys and I'd meet my father in Camas, which is the last town before you go up into the high Uintas. On my way up, there was an accident. And on the way back, there was another accident picking up the boys. And so I was delayed more than a couple hours by the time we got to Camas. And this little diner that I was supposed to meet my dad at, I couldn't even find it. I decided, well, maybe because of all this, he went through the ranger station. Maybe he's waiting for me up there, or maybe, So we drove up to the checkpoint where you pay to get into the park. I didn't see him there. I asked the ranger at the thing, I said, hey, I was supposed to meet my dad in Camas, but did he perchance leave a message? And I was hoping that what he'd left is, this is where I am, this is how to find me.
Yeah.
Maybe something on a map or directions or something. And the ranger said, oh, yeah, he mentioned that he couldn't wait any longer, that he waited for over 2 hours and he needed to go. I parked the car and I processed some feelings. At first I was kind of mad, thinking about, okay, yeah, that's typical of Dad. He was probably frustrated and
Right.
didn't think to leave details and just left without me. And then I realized, no, he was probably really frustrated. And if I was that frustrated, I probably wouldn't have, thought to do that either. So I still wasn't thinking about this experience that I wanted to have for my boys at this point. It wasn't in my consciousness. But God knew what he was doing. And he'd set up a scenario for me to have the experience that I had prayed for. They'd ask me, they said, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea where Grandpa is in all of this. And it's a big place. So I was processing my feelings and I prayed. I asked the boys, I said, I don't know, in answer to their question, I don't know what to do. I need to pray about what to do. So just give me a moment and be quiet. And they were good. And I said my prayer and I just expressed my feelings with Heavenly Father. It's like, this This was a really big deal. But my dad had the food, he'd made the plans, we had tents, and we had what we needed to, to park on the ground, but I had no idea where we were supposed to be. I didn't have food. I think we had a little bit of water. About 7 o'clock at this point, and we were supposed to meet and start at 3. Just poured my heart out to my Father in heaven. Father, I would really, really like for this to happen. I have no idea where my Father is. Should I even try? And I had a real peace come over me. And the thought that if nothing else, I could be an example to my sons of putting forth your best effort. So we started off, and at every turn, at every possible turn off of the main road, I would slow down and query the Spirit. It's like, should I turn? Should I keep going? And the prompting I got was a remembrance of a principle. Without direction otherwise, without a prompting from the Spirit, we should stay the course of what we previously received. So that was the thought in my mind: stay the course unless directed otherwise. About 20 possible turns into this, I'm starting to question myself. The Holy Ghost communicates with us in such a delicate manner. When we're doubting ourselves and we're questioning ourselves, that doesn't work real well. That's not that inner sense of peace that's required to really hear that so delicate a voice. So a couple more turn off options, still not getting anything, and then all of a sudden I get this turn here. And then all of a sudden it was kind of hidden. It had been kind of hidden in the trees, and I saw this turn off. And I turned in, and it was a dirt road, and it went in, and there was a parking area. And I drove in there, and there was a gold Saturn. And my dad drove that model of gold Saturn. Well, I didn't know what his license plate number was. And at that point, it was like, okay, how do I know this is Dad's car? There's a lot of this particular model and color on the road. And I actually dared to ask God for a sign. Help me to know if this is Dad's car. I looked at that car and I looked inside, and there was a postcard. I'd sent a postcard with my name, which happened to be sitting against the shift knob. Apparently, he was gonna give it to me, and when I didn't show up, he put it there against the shift knob so that he would see it, so he'd remember to give it to me. So in what I call the Lord's divine economy, there was this evidence that it was his car. I cannot express the level of relief of, okay, this process is working. I had so many potential turnoffs where I could have gotten off the course, but this process is working, and I've gotten this far. That really bolstered my faith and my motivation to keep trying.